The wind howled through the trees. Cold rain hit the metal roof of Jason's cabin like tiny bullets. Deep in the forest, far from any town, he lived alone by choice. No neighbors, no noise, no trouble. But tonight, trouble came knocking. Single knock, sharp, slow, not loud, but enough to freeze Jason mid-step. He put down his coffee and reached for the old pistol under the table. He moved toward the door quietly, heart steady but alert. No one should be here. Not this deep in. The woods. Not at midnight. Another knock, softer, then silence. Jason peeked through the side window. Nothing. He opened the door just a few inches, and there she was. A woman, no, not fully human. Pale blue skin, soaked in rain. Long white hair stuck to her cheeks. Her eyes were glowing faintly. Not with light, but something else. Pain, fear. Before Jason could speak, she collapsed forward. He caught her. Hey. You okay? He said, but she was barely breathing. Her body was warm. Too warm. Jason lifted her easily. She was light. Too light. Like someone who hadn't eaten in days. He shut the door and placed her gently on the couch. Rain dripped from her clothes, soaking the cushions. She looked unconscious, but her hand suddenly gripped his wrist. Don't let them take me, she whispered. Then her eyes rolled back. She passed out completely. Jason stared at her. Who the hell was she? What did she mean by them? He looked over her again. She didn't have any weapons. Just a torn, metallic-looking cloak over a tight black suit, both ripped and dirty. Her legs were bruised. One side of her ribcage looked burned. Jason pulled out his first aid kit and started cleaning the wound. She didn't flinch. No ID, no gear. No blood. Her skin bled a faint silver liquid instead. She wasn't from Earth. That much was clear. But why come to his door? Jason had seen weird things in the war. Strange tech. Whispers about off-world encounters. But that was years ago. He left that life behind, until tonight. He covered her with a blanket, then turned on his scanner, a military tool he hadn't used in years. It lit up immediately. Movement detected. 3 signals. South Ridge. Hover pattern. Jason's eyes narrowed. Someone was already looking for her. He turned off the lights and pulled down the blackout curtains. Then he grabbed his rifle from the closet. Whoever they were getting closer. He looked back. At her. She was still asleep. Breathing soft. There was something about her. Even wounded, she didn't look weak. Her body was athletic, toned, but her face looked like someone who had run too long. From something too cruel. The scanner beeped again. Signal split. 2 units circling wide. One approaching. Fast, Jason cursed under his breath. He had to move her. Now, but just as he leaned down to lift her, her eyes snapped open. Glowing brighter now. She sat up fast. Are they here? She asked. Jason froze. Yeah, you want to tell me who they are? No time, she said, struggling to stand. If they find me, they'll kill you too. You brought them here, Jason said firmly. I deserve answers. Her gaze met his. I didn't choose your door. I just felt it was safe. She stumbled again. Jason grabbed her arm to steady her. You're not ready to run, he said. If you want to stay alive, you'll stay quiet and trust me. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then she nodded. Jason helped her into the basement, a hidden bunker lined with old survival gear, rations, and weapons. As he shut the thick door behind them, he looked into her eyes again. Who are you? He asked. Her lips trembled. My name is Alira, and I'm not supposed to exist. Suddenly, the scanner beeped one last time. Unidentified aircraft descending, 200 meters. They were here. Asterisk, the bunker was quiet. Too quiet. Jason sat on an old metal stool, rifle across his lap. The only light came from a small battery lamp on the wall. Elira lay on the camp bed nearby, eyes half open, watching him. He could feel her staring. "Why me?" Jason finally asked. Elira blinked slowly. "Because you didn't shoot me." "That's not an answer." She sat up with effort, gripping. Her sighed. The burn marks on her skin still glowed faintly under the bandages. She didn't look like a soldier. But she didn't look like a victim either. "I'm not what they told you aliens are," she said. "I wasn't made for peace. I was made for war." Jason raised an eyebrow. "So you're a weapon?" She nodded. "They created me to fight humans, to test your defenses, and then replace you." Her voice was low. "But I refused. I couldn't do what they asked." Jason looked at her closely. "So they tried to kill you?" "They are trying." The moment she said it, a faint boom shook the bunker. Jason stood up fast. "What was that?" "Warning shot. They're close. They won't wait much longer." He grabbed his scanner. It was fried. Burnt circuits. MP hit. Damn. Elira stood now too, legs shaky but stable. "You should let me go." Jason narrowed his eyes. "You think I'm the kind of man who lets strangers die at his door?" She tilted her head. "I don't know what kind of man you are." Jason walked over to her slowly. "I'm the kind that fights back." She almost smiled, almost. Then her eyes turned cold. "If they catch me, they'll torture me until I forget your name. Then they'll make me kill you with my own hands." Jason stared back. "Let's not give them the chance." Suddenly static. A voice came through the old emergency radio. "You are sheltering a classified subject. Step outside unarmed. You have 1 minute." Jason picked up the radio, pressed the button, and replied calmly. "She's not yours. Anymore." Silence. Then, "Wrong answer, human." A second explosion hit outside. The ground trembled. Jason turned to Elira. "Can you fight?" She took a breath. "Not like this. But I can protect you." "Guess we'll both be doing something we weren't made for," Jason muttered. He opened the bunker door slightly and peeked. A red light scanned the tree line. Drones hovered in search patterns. He slammed the door shut. "They'll find this place," he said, "sooner or later." "Then we move now," Elira said. "There's a transport beacon hidden in the woods. If I can reach it, I can scramble their signal for a few hours." Jason nodded. "Then let's get you there." But before they could leave, Elira touched his hand. "Jason." He looked down. Her voice was softer now. "Let me stay. Just a little longer. Let me feel this safety. I never had it before." Jason didn't speak. He didn't need to. He squeezed her hand, then handed her a knife. "Stay close. And if anyone comes near me, use that." She looked at the blade, then back at him. "I'll protect you too," she whispered. They opened the hatch. Smoke filled the trees. Red lights danced in the distance. They ran. The forest was burning behind them. Smoke curled through the trees. Ash rained like snow. Jason's lungs burned. His legs ached. But he didn't stop running, not while Elira was still in his arms. She wasn't fully conscious. Her head leaned against his chest, eyes half open, glowing faintly. Whatever had hit her back at the cabin, it was still in her system. He made it to the cave by the river, the one he used during winter hunts. Hidden, safe, for now. He laid her down gently on a blanket. "Elira," he whispered, brushing hair from her face. "Talk to me." She stirred, breathing shallow. "They're not supposed to follow us this far," she muttered. "This zone. Off limits." "Apparently they didn't care," Jason said. "Who are they?" She opened her eyes. "My creators." Jason sat across from her, watching her closely. "You said they made you for war. What does that mean?" Elira looked down at her hands. "I was born in a tank. No mother, no childhood. Just tests, training, programming. They wanted a perfect soldier to study humans to replace you." Jason's jaw tightened. So why didn't you finish your mission? She looked up, her voice shaking. Because I saw what you really are. You fight, you destroy, but you also feel, you help. You save, she paused. You opened your door to me. No one's ever done that, not even my own kind. Jason stayed quiet, then she added softly, you didn't run. Most would have shot. Me, or handed me over. Jason shrugged. Guess I'm not most. She stared at him. Why? Why risk your life for me? Jason looked her in the eyes. Because when you knocked on my door, you didn't beg for help. You warned me. Even when you were bleeding, scared you cared about me first. He paused. That's not something a weapon does. Elira's eyes welled with something strange. Tears. That night, the fire crackled low in the cave. Elira rested her head on Jason's shoulder. Her breathing had calmed. Her glow had returned. You should have left me behind, she said. Jason smirked. I considered it. She smiled, but then her tone shifted. They'll come again, they always do. Then we'll be ready, he said. No, she replied. I can't hide anymore. They won't stop. Not unless I stop them first. Jason turned to face her. You mean go to them? She nodded. There's a facility, underground. It's where they train others like me. If I get inside, I can destroy it all, erase every blueprint. Jason frowned. You want to break into the place you escaped from? I have to. I can't keep running. And neither can you. Jason thought for a long moment. Then he said the words that changed everything. Then let's end it. Together. Jason couldn't breathe. Not because of fear. Not because of the cold night wind, but because of what he just saw. Elira wasn't human. Not even close. Her skin shimmered in the moonlight like smooth glass. When she moved, it wasn't like a person. It was faster, cleaner, like a machine built to fight and never lose. Muscles under her alien suit flexed in ways that made no sense. She had ripped a scout drone clean in half with one hand. Jason stood frozen behind a tree, watching her. And yet, her eyes weren't cold. They were full of shame. She turned to him slowly. I didn't want you to see this. Jason stepped out from cover. Then why show me? Because I had to protect you. A moment passed. Jason walked closer. You're stronger than I thought. I was made to kill. Her voice cracked slightly. But the moment you opened your door to me, something changed. I felt fear, not for myself, for you. Jason didn't speak right away. He just looked at her, this beautiful, deadly creature who didn't choose to be a weapon, but chose him instead. She turned away. You don't have to stay with me. You've seen what I am. Jason walked up behind her. I've seen what you can do. Not what you are. She turned slowly. Then what am I? You're someone who didn't kill me when you had the chance. A faint laugh escaped her lips. Most men wouldn't say that to a creature like me. I'm not most men. Lightning cracked across the sky. The storm was building again. They ran back to the cabin. It was temporary cover, but they needed rest. Elira had used up her energy. Her body healed fast, but not endlessly. Inside, she sat near the fire. Jason handed her dry clothes, his own. She looked confused. These are soft, he smiled. They're not armor. Try something different. She took off her suit slowly. Her skin was scarred, marked with lines that looked like burned in. Numbers, identifiers from some alien lab. Jason turned away out of respect, but Elira noticed. You've seen me fight. Seen me bleed, but now you're shy? I'm not shy, Jason said quietly. I'm just trying not to forget you're more than what they made you. She put on his shirt. It was loose, warm. She smiled slightly. This feels strange. But safe. Jason sat beside her on the floor. The fire crackled between them. She looked at him. I was never touched without pain. Never looked at like this. Like what? Like I mattered. Jason met her eyes. You matter to me. Silence hung between them. Not awkward, just full. Then she leaned her head on his shoulder. Her voice barely a whisper. If I asked to stay forever, would you let me? Jason looked at her. The alien weapon. The woman who never chose her own path. He answered without thinking. If you ask like that again, I won't let you go. Her hand found his dot, but just as their fingers touched crack, a red laser dot lit her collarbone. Jason dove forward, tackled her down. Glass shattered. A bullet hit the wall where her head had just been. They were under attack. Again. Jason's ears rang from the gunshot. He rolled over, reaching for Alira, but she was gone. Smoke filled the cabin. Flashbang. He coughed. Tried to stand, but two dark figures tackled him to the floor. Boots crushed his wrists. A rifle muzzle pressed against his temple. His vision blurred. Through the haze, he saw them, black armored suits, faceless helmets. Not human soldiers, not entirely. They moved like machines. Silent, fast, efficient. One of them held Alira. Her body was limp, a needle stuck in her neck. She wasn't bleeding, but her glow was gone, dim, like a dying light bulb. Jason roared, "Let her go!" The figure looked down at him. "You were warned." Then crack. A sharp hit to his head, and everything went black. He woke up to silence. His cabin was torn apart. The door shattered. Weapons gone. Fire burned low in the fireplace, and she was gone. Jason sat up slowly, blood dried on his forehead. His heart pounded, not from pain, but fury. They took her, but they didn't kill him. Big mistake. He pulled open the trap under the floorboards. His real stash, guns, blades, explosives, and one last piece of tech from the war, a small alien tracker. Reverse engineered during his time in Black Ops. He powered it on. A faint, blinking signal appeared on the screen. She was still alive. Jason packed fast, loaded weapons, strapped gear to his chest. No more hiding. No more questions. They wanted a war? They just gave him a reason. By nightfall, he'd reached the edge of the old government facility. The place looked abandoned, but Jason knew better. Underground it was alive. Secret labs, dirty experiments, black site missions. And now her prison. He crouched behind the trees, scoping the guards. Advanced tech, energy rifles, perimeter drones. Still. Nothing he hadn't faced before. He whispered under his breath, "I told you to stay close, Alira." Then he checked his rifle, pulled down his mask, and moved like a shadow through the dark. One guard. Silent kill. Two more. Distraction. Boom. By the time he reached the inner doors, alarms had started. But he was already inside. He wasn't a man anymore. He was a mission, deep underground. Alira opened her eyes. She was strapped to a cold metal table, machines humming around her, tubes in her arms, wires on her skull. A voice echoed in the room. "You were never meant to feel, never meant to love. Look what it cost you." She didn't respond. "That human, he'll forget you." Humans always do. Still silent, but her mind, it reached for something. For someone. Jason. She knew he was coming, and that thought alone gave her strength. Her heart, programmed to be cold, now burned. Back at the lab's lower hallway, Jason blasted through a steel door with a homemade charge. He moved fast, like an animal, eyes scanning, breathing calm. Target locked. Lira. The tracker beeped faster. He was close, too close to stop now. The lights flickered overhead. Sirens blared. Jason stepped into the main lab corridor like a ghost pulled from fire, bleeding, bruised but alive. Behind him, 7 bodies. In his hands, a rifle running low on ammo and a knife stained with black alien blood. He was one man against an entire facility, and they were losing. Far below, Alira still lay strapped to the cold slab of metal. Tubes in her arms, wires digging into her spine. Her suit had been peeled back, her body exposed, her pride stripped. They wanted to erase her, turn her back into a machine, but something kept pulsing inside her chest. A memory not of battle, not of creation, of him, Jason, his voice, his touch, his anger when she was taken. He didn't run. He didn't trade her for safety. And now, he was here. A soldier burst into the lab. "Sir, he's breached Sector 4. The commander turned from his console. "Alone?" "Yes, sir." "Then kill him. We've tried. He won't stop." Jason's vision blurred as he limped forward. He kicked open another door, flash grenaded the hallway. His earpiece buzzed. The tracker pinged louder. He was seconds away now. Alira's breathing slowed. She heard it. Footsteps. Real. Familiar. Then boom. The wall exploded inward. Dust. Fire. Silence. And through the smoke Jason. Bloody, battered, but standing. Her eyes filled with tears. "Jason." But before she could say more, bullets rained from the ceiling. Automatic turrets whirred to life. Jason dove forward, sliding across the ground. He grabbed Alira's restraints, cutting through them one by one, as bullets sparked around them. "Stay with me," he shouted. "Always." She whispered. One last lock snapped. She fell into his arms. Then everything went white when Alira opened her eyes again. She wasn't in the lab. She was in the woods. The wind on her face, the stars above. Jason laid aside. Her bleeding. He'd carried her out. Somehow she pulled herself up, touching his face. "You idiot," she whispered. "You came for me." He opened one eye, grinning through the pain. "Told you I don't leave people behind." She looked down at him. "You nearly died. You're worth it." Alira leaned in slowly. Their foreheads touched. Her body began to glow again, soft this time, warm, but then her glow spread. To him. Jason flinched. "What's happening?" he asked. She looked surprised. "I don't know. You're sinking with me." His cuts began to close. His breath steadied. His pulse matched hers. For the first time in her life, Alira wasn't healing herself. She was healing someone else. That night, they rested in silence, hidden under the trees. No words. No war. Just her. Hand on his chest, feeling the beat of the man who had risked everything. Not because he needed her power, but because he chose her heart. The sun broke over the forest, soft and gold. Jason stirred, opening his eyes slowly. His chest didn't ache. His wounds were gone. He looked to his side, and there she was. Lire. Curled against him, breathing steady, glowing faintly like she always did in sleep. But this time, her glow felt peaceful, not defensive. Not afraid. Safe. He let out a slow breath. They'd survived. Later, as they sat near a small fire, Jason handed her a mug of hot water. It wasn't much, but it was warm. She held it like it was precious. "I never thought I'd taste silence," she said softly. He looked at her. "Too quiet for a warrior?" She smiled. "Too perfect for a weapon." Jason shifted closer. "You're not a weapon. You're the first one who ever said that out loud," she whispered. They sat in silence a moment. Then she said it. "I don't want to run anymore." Jason nodded. "Then don't." "But if I stay," she said, her voice shaking slightly, "they'll come again, for me, for you." Jason leaned in. "Then let them. I'll be ready." She looked at him, really looked. He wasn't just a soldier. He was her reason to fight, her reason to stop running. From her suit, she pulled out a thin, glowing shard. "This is a key," she said, "to something bigger, a rebellion. Hidden deep in the stars." Jason's brow raised. "You planning to start a war?" "Not a war," she said. "A choice." She paused. "I want you with me," Jason smiled. "We barely survived this one night. And now you're asking me to join an alien uprising?" "I'm asking you to stay with me." Jason looked at the forest around them. Quiet, familiar, safe. Then he looked at her. Eyes bright. "Heart real. Soul not built but earned. I've had A lot of reasons to fight, he said. None of them good. He took her hand. Now I've got one that is. She leaned in, lips just near his. You're sure, human? I'm sure, he whispered. Let's give them hell. As they walked off into the forest together, hand in hand, the camera of an unseen drone flickered silently in the sky, recording them, tracking them, and sending one message back to its masters. Subject Alira is not alone.